Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Natalie Porter from Immaculate Confections, and this time I'm going to show you how to make a cartoon rose. Who knew we would end up with a trend where you took a 3D thing and made it look 2D? I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget you can get all of your tools and equipment and colours from our website, immaculateconfections.co.uk. Do join us over on Facebook in our group, Natalie's Cake Studio. Links are both in the description. And of course, do give us a like and subscribe over here on YouTube as well. We'll be really grateful. Enjoy the video. Greetings and welcome and salutations to you, my friends. I'm sure you guys have seen going round this trend at the moment for making cakes that look like cartoons. And I was like, why don't we have cartoon flowers? So I have my workboard. I've got my rolling pin. We're going to use the 10cm cutter and a 25mm ball for this one. And then optional rose leaf if you wish. And then I've used the petunia shape so this is the Blossom Sugar Art petunia. And I've used that for the calyx because actually I think it is a much nicer, more cartoony shape than a sort of normal calyx. So all of these things we sell on our website along with the colours, and this evening we are using magenta, green and black. So there's no dust on this, we're just going for nice strong colours. So I'll start us off mixing up a little bit of magenta there. And of course, I should say also, we're using our flour paste. This is our own flour paste that you can also get on our website. So flour paste, and I'm going to pop in some colouring. So I don't want too much. Like I want a fairly strong pink, so it will be fairly liberal. But it's not loads and loads and loads because we don't want to soak it, you know. And I'm just going to knead that in. So we just need the one, which means that I'm going to roll and cut one single petal and one set of 5 from my 10cm cutter. So don't roll it too thin because we need a little bit of substance to attach our black lines to. And I'll do my 5 from here. I just need one petal, so I'm just going to pop that there, give it a nice wiggle, and then we'll just cut away the excess. And that's it, that's all we need. So the ball I'm using for this is 25mm across, so it's 2.5 centimetres, or indeed about an inch. I've got a 20 gauge wire just there, and I've glued it on with some hot glue. So you're just going to take your glue gun, do a little dot onto the ball, and then just insert the wire through it, and that's going to give you a nice solid base to work with. Trusty rapid rose pad, a ball tool, and my petal pad. So first things first, we're going to pop a little cone onto our ball to make the ball a bud shape. So just take a little sort of chickpea sized bit of paste, roll it on one edge, wet the top of the ball. You can do this just with water, and then you're just going to squidge that on like so. And you can be really quite rough with it, as you saw me do there, making sure that it really is squidged on. And do you see how it's a nice even shape? So it's not too short, but equally I've not made it too tall. It's sort of not a wizard's hat either. And then I'm going to pop that on there. So take my ball tool, and the first thing you're going to do is just go around the edge here. Now the first petal I always put on sideways, so I'm not going to put it on the rose like this, I'm going to do it sideways. So we just want to go around that top edge. We're looking for that nice soft wave, flip it over and wet the bottom half like so, and then that can go onto our bud. So picked it up, you can see I've got maybe 1/2 centimetre sticking up over the ball there, and we'll bring the pointy end round first like this, a little bit of extra water just to fold it in, and then the other side will come round on top. The trick here is making sure that the inside is tucked in, because if the inside is tucked in, then the outside will curl round. And then we will take our 5 petals and do the same with the ball tool. So going around the edge, and we're just looking for that nice soft wave. So most of well, pretty much all the equipment that I'm using this evening, so ball tools, our lovely petal pads, the Rapid Rose kit, it's all on our website if you're in need of anything, alongside our colours and stuff, which is immaculateconfections.co.uk. So we're going to take our Rapid Rose pad. This is our little green baby. We'll take our petals and turn them upside down, and that is so important, right? You're always turning things upside down with roses so that the petals are curling away from the centre rather than curling in towards it. So you always want to flip it over, and then we'll wet the middle and just do a little line of water on the edge of each petal there, like so. Just that sort of star in the middle. So we'll pop the rose through the middle, pull it up, and then we're just going to start with 2 opposite petals, so say this one and this one. Attach one side of it, like so, spin around 180 degrees and attach that opposite one, like that. So you've got those 2 open wings, and it's important that you attach them nice and close to that cone in the middle there. And then it's just a case of bringing that round on top there, bit of extra water to make it stick if you need to, and then this one is going to come round on top there. Now, me being a little heavy-handed and not really paying attention to what I was doing, I've torn it, but it doesn't matter because it's going to get hidden. Curl those edges back just a little bit, and it is important with this, you want to pull it quite tight so that it's still quite cone-shaped there. If you have a look, you can see. So just make sure, sort of round and give it that little downward tweak so that it's still cone-shaped and you've got the right shape for the rose. And we're going to do the same thing again with the next 3 petals. So we'll attach the one side, spin it round a bit, attach the next one, spin it round a bit, and then attach that last one. So you can see they're kind of evenly spaced. And then just like before, you bring that round on top of its neighbour. That will come round on top of his neighbour there. And then that one comes round on top of his neighbour, just there. We can remove this, flip it over and just gently press down the underneath. And then we'll come to the top. And what we mostly want to, well, we're going to curl back those edges so you can see we're just encouraging it to do what it already wants to do because of the ball tool. But because we're doing the rosebud and we're going for this sort of cartoon effect, the outside edge of each petal there, just make sure that that in particular is curled back. And then we can use our Dresden. I'm just going to come in here and open it up a little bit. And this is partly to make the rose look bigger, but it's also because if I don't, it is going to be borderline impossible to get those black lines on. This is just coloured with the green, so it's just very much a green. And on the basis of this being cartoon styly, we just wanted green. We don't want this to be subtle. We don't want any pretty dusting or anything like that. We just want it to be pink rose, green leaves, etc. I'm going to want to cut one of my petunia shapes. So this is the Blossom Sugar Up petunias. We sell the multi-set on the website and it's awesomely useful for how many different bits and pieces there are in it. So I've cut one of the petunias to use as a calyx, and then we just want a little leaf shape. So you can hand cut your little leaf shape. Alternatively, cut a rose leaf, and then I just use that. If you're not too confident with the hand cutting, we can just use this as a basis to then come and sort of cut the serrated bits off. But yeah, look, you can just use that as a, however you want. Wet the back, and then we just want to slide it, pierce it in the middle and slide it up underneath the rose. And that is our little calyx. And then I'm just going to use my Dresden tool to just sort of mark down in between each one of these. 24 gauge wire, just so that it's nice and strong and we're not going to have to worry about anything moving or flapping about or whatever. We'll take a little bit of paste and I'm just going to wet the wire and we'll make a wee twiddle on it. So that's just taking a little bit of paste, a little sausage of it, insert that there and just give it a twist and a wiggle down the way. You can come around the edge of the ball. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're going to put, it's just habit, isn't it? We're going to put an outline on it, but we'll wet that and press the leaf on. And to be fair, I've got the wire going fairly high up there, side of your little finger to press it down, and then that's it. So the one thing you can do to this if you want is just turn it over, pop a gentle finger there and just give it a little bit of a convex bend, but it doesn't really need more shape than that. Now I do have an extruder, which is very exciting. So one of our lovely students, Maureen, bought this for me. I'm just going to take a little blob of my black flour paste and pop it into the end there. I've chosen one that's going to put out 4 little squirts of paste. Look.
It's like the things you get.
It's like Play-Doh, but
yeah,
for grown-ups, yeah. If you do have an extruder, then definitely use it because you're going to get one heck of a head start on for then doing what I'm doing here, which is just making those sausages a little bit thinner. Because for all that we want it a bit chunky because it's cartoony, we don't want it to be too thick. Now, this next bit you can do with glue or water, whichever you prefer and you're more comfortable with. I tend to use water, as you know, for lots of things. I'm going to start on the inside and we're just going to wet those edges a bit. This is the hardest bit. So look, I've just sort of draped it in there and then I'm just going to use my Dresden tool to sort of nestle it in the right place. Having a tiny little bit of your little scissors will be useful because if you find it's too long like that, which that is, we can snip that off.
Caroline says she knows they're fonder, but could you just paint a black line onto it?
You could, but you would lose.
Just lose the effect, like, isn't it?
The 3D-ness a little bit, yeah. Do you know what you totally could do? And actually, what I should have done this evening was put this black line on when you had just done that inner bit. Would be way easier. So we're just poking and prodding it into position, like so. Definitely do this bit before you put the other petals on. That would be my top tip for the evening. And basically, look, we're just going to keep doing that. So just wet those edges. And then take a vaguely appropriately lengthed bit of sausage. And remember, if the bit you take is a little bit too long, don't worry, you can just sort of let it droop inside and it will just look, it will disappear into itself. And you can, between the Dresden and your fingers and just the nature of the flour paste and that, you can get it to sit quite nicely right on the very edge of the petals. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's on the edge as opposed to on the inside almost. So again, I'm going to dangle that bit down the side there, flop that round whilst I come and just sort of stick this on a little bit. Appropriately sized sausage. Yeah, do you know what? There's been a lot of that recently in the classes, hasn't there?
Appropriately sized sausages?
No, me saying things that sound awful rude.
Could you put them perhaps on when they're flat before they're on?
Do you know what? So I was thinking about that earlier and thinking that would also be well worth trying.
Well, you run the risk, I guess, of it sort of being tearing or stretching as you put it on.
it's not that it would tear or stretch, it's just that you might lose.
Some of the definition of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows well enough, but I can't tell you how nice it is that this is sitting right on the edge and that you can tweak it up and get it sitting right on the edge. So the thing with these is, and if you look at the cakes that have got it on, is that they put bits down the sides. So the sides and the edges have got an outline. And that's what makes it look like a 2D thing that's 3D. And that's what makes it look, yeah, like a 2D. I was going to say unnatural, except it's not unnatural because that's exactly how it's supposed to look, because it's the effect that people are going for. See, look, you can kind of lay it on roughly, knowing that you can then come back and nudge it properly into position. Like, it's fiddly, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna chop this up. I'm just making my best guess about the length, basically, because then I can come and poke that in. And this is what I was saying, if it's a bit long, don't worry about it, it's just gonna disappear inside the petals. And remember, because we're not, we're working with all of it sort of leather hard here, so there is still that tiny little bit of movement available, which is quite handy. We can dangle that end because we can sort it out in a minute. We'll just get a bit attached and then we'll worry about the ends down the line. And then of course that end there, we just want it to sort of disappear into the folds of those petals. And just through pure luck rather than judgment, it is in fact the exact right length to do so. So same again, dangling it, just get a bit attached. Oh, this one might be a bit short, but that's all right, we can deal with that. And then, do you see, once it's on, it's actually fairly easy to just kind of get it in position, and I'm not pressing it so much as I'm rolling it. For these bits, what I did was a central bit, an uppy bit and a downy bit for each one, and that is going to make absolutely no sense until I start putting the black on. So that bit there, and then it can come round that bit, and then I'm going to chop it off just here. And that's what I mean about doing like the long bit, an uppy bit and a downy bit, because if you keep doing that, it will fill all the lines, but it just makes sort of a nice regular pattern of it almost. The front is going to be something at that sort of angle. So it looks really cool top down, but you'd not really stick it on like that. It's got to be something along these lines. And I think that is quite a nice angle for it. And these are going to go here and here. And if you want to be really finessed about it, once you cut it, if you roll one end like that, you can create a little bit of a taper on the fined end, the finished end. Sorry, it's because I was reading comments at the same time. So that there is our, on the green bits, and you can go all the way around if you want. I shan't just now. And I'm just a little bit of corn flour there so I can just get that twist and just get a slightly neater underneath there, like that. And then what I've done on the other one is just popped a sort of little curled up bit. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Right, that's stuck down. And it's quite nice to have a little curve to this bit. It's just a little flick. It's just trying to think about, if we were drawing this, what lines would you use and where to sort of give an impression of it being drawn and being 3D. I'm just rolling that round a little bit more as well. Oh. Honestly, I don't know how people do it with like teeny tiny, you know, like I said, eyebrows and eyelashes and things. I think I would have a fit. So that is the bulk of it. Now, one extra little bit will do that I found, just finished it off earlier, is to take just a little ball of green. So this is we're talking petit pois sized here. Make it just a little cone. A little bit of water just underneath there, so that we can run that up just underneath. And then this is why it's important to know where the front is, because what we're going to do when you know where the front is put the lines on that little calyxy bit on the edges. I'll wet the two sides there, and then that's going to go in there like that. Break that off and just make sure that that's stuck on, and then we'll do the same on that side. There you go. And do you see how somehow it just finishes it off and gives it that very much cartoon look? I'm just going to do my leaf. So we'll go around the edge. And I found this was easier to go up to the point, cut it off, and then do the other half with a new bit. So I'm just rolling this, getting that slightly pointed end there. That line I decided was quite nice just for curving it ever so slightly, like so. And then we're going to use one of my favourite things in the world ever, which is the black floral tape. So we have this on the website as well, and you would think you wouldn't use it very often, but I manage to use the black quite often, don't I? So I'm just going to fold it up and trim it to about 1/3 width. Just find it easier to use when we've got these little wires that we want to wrap around. We'll tape up the stem of the leaf, and of course you can wait till it's proper dry to do this. It will be much easier, because of course I'm going to have to be careful when I get to the top here that I don't damage anything with the tape. Again, I'm just going to go up the stem. So, and just taping up the stem of this as well. And then of course I'll do a new bit of tape and attach that there. And then you just got to get the position of your leaf, which I think something like that. I mean, you can do it either side. I'm doing this one same side as I did earlier. I might bend my leaf back just a little touch more there. And then we'll just wrap the tape around the two and just bring it all the way down. So the last thing we're going to do is just take a teeny tiny little bit of white. So we just want to roll out, again, little sausages. You just kind of need to pick where it looks right from a cartoon point of view. So if that's the front, you could definitely have one there, I think. So like before, we'll get it attached, just sort of waft it into position, and then we can use tools. It feels like being a dentist or something. It's a bit long there, so let's just get rid of that bit. There we are. Use some little tools just to do that with it. So this one, there you go, just on the side there. So we can, oh, you can just about see it. if that was the front. But you get the idea. If you'd like to see more of the things we do on a Sunday evening, and dare I say it, of me and my faith, then if you join our Facebook group, which is Natalie's Cake Studio, there is an almost 3-year back catalogue of Sunday nights, from the sublime to the ridiculous, it has to be said. So you can do that, and of course we have all of our classes online, including, as Chris said, the clematis this Wednesday. So yeah, are you putting a link for the Cake Studio?
Yes.
Okay, so I just need to talk just long enough for Chris to post that, and then I will say goodnight.
I have.
Okay, so that's the link for the Facebook group. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you all again very soon indeed. Take care, stay safe, and have a lovely evening. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, I love to see what you guys make, so do join our group on Facebook, Natalie's Cake Studio, where you can share your pictures, ask any questions, or get any help that you might need. The link is in the description, along with a link to our website as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and do check out some of our other videos. We'll see you next time.